I mean, we just rode 100 feet of trail, so I don't know how much you can parse from that.
I've never seen a fork so reluctant to stay down in its travel as Jason's. It was like fully compressed and fully back, fantastic.
It's just, yeah, kind of doing this a lot. Welcome to Budget vs. Baller, the series where we take two used mountain bikes and systematically upgrade them to see where you should spend your hard-earned money.
That's right, so one of these bikes is going to have the highest spec possible, and the other bike is going to have, well, it's got the parts that Mike Levy has managed to find at the far-flung corners of the internet.
Now, we are big fans of the YouTube channel Donut Media, and they have a similar series that they do on cars, and we thought, hey, why not do it with mountain bikes as well?
But before we get started, we just want to say a massive thank you to Jensen USA, who made all this possible, not least by supplying all those premium parts.
Yeah, exactly. Jensen USA is an online bicycle retailer, and hey, if you're like me and you don't have a spare kidney, they have parts to meet just about any budget, so check them out the next time you need some upgrades for your bike.
Now, when you are upgrading a second-hand bike, you've kind of got two options. A, you could equip it with parts that are suitable for the saltwater Brunei. So I'm talking unnecessarily golden drivetrains, wireless everything. And also you have the option of scrimping and saving a little bit more and trying to get similar performance, but at a fraction of the cost. So that's what we've done. We've got the high-end bike and now we need to get some schmuck to ride the low-end bike.
Henry, did you read the script? You are that schmuck.
Oh no. Oh, I've always felt like a schmuck and I am. Ah!
Yeah, Henry, unfortunately, you are stuck with the budget bike. I think the reason is, you know, you're a former World Cup mechanic. You can tinker. I don't know what I'm doing. I need high-end parts to cover my incapability.
You know, Jason, I've always respected you for your patience and your tremendous riding ability. I think we should, you know, we need to find out, it's not just all Insta influencing. We need to find out how you go on the cheap stuff.
Nope, no we don't. I'm on the baller bike. So let's introduce our bikes. We've gone out and purchased two almost identical used giant reins. They're sensible, they're alloy, and they're a good mix for someone who wants to ride hard but not break the bank.
So both these bikes have 160 mil of travel, a 458 reach, which is suitable for someone like you. You're at 5'8", right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
They also have a 434 rear end, and save for a rear end that might need a little bit of tweaking, these bikes have all the same standards that you would expect to find on a brand new bike in 2022.
Yep, exactly. And my geometry is, well, it's what he said. We have the exact same bike.
But of course, all second-hand bikes do vary a little bit. So what are we dealing with ours? And I think it'd be nice if we had a gentleman's agreement that at least I get the better looking of the two frames.
Okay, I guess that's fine. I think the brakes work on at least one of the bikes, so you can have
perfect.
that one.
Yeah.
So let's go grab the bikes. Let's give them a good once over. We haven't touched them since we bought them. And then, hey, let's go on a shakedown ride followed by a timed test lap.
Well, that sounds pretty good. And it's gonna be interesting to see how two bikes that are supposedly exactly the same stack up. So this is my, I would term it lightly bedded in giant rein. It's got a few blemishes and it's got some nice touches actually. I mean, the indexed headset is gonna be really good to the choppy stuff because it's gonna stop me getting bounced offline. I think if anything, I wouldn't want it any less worn. Little scars on the seat post, they're useful to say it works. It's always worked and it's had a good productive life. What do you reckon of this?
It looks, you know, honestly, for a used mountain bike, you can ride it, you could take it to a trail right now. Well, you shouldn't. You should definitely do a once over, make sure everything's tight. There's some questionable red flags. I see some sealant coming out of your tires.
Yeah. Okay, I've only got a certain amount of edge knobs left and I don't like what I can only describe as foul play. You need to go easy on them, easy. I think the bike,
come right on.
Considering we just sighted it, we didn't allow ourselves to have an inspection, although I did get first dibs. I think this is actually pretty good. I think it's fine. It's got most of the paintwork, most of the original parts. Of course, the original giant specs, things like power core, which I couldn't imagine riding without.
Yeah.
And I think actually it's a pretty good bike. And I'm happy because at least it's in better nick than yours.
That's totally true. Most importantly too, the frame, it's got a few, let's call it love marks on it, but it's not cracked. It's, you know, still rideable, and it's a good frame to throw new parts on. Like you were saying, the standards are up to today's standards. And I think it'll serve as a good little canvas for your oil painting to come. All right, we have my giant rain here. As you can see, pretty much identical. Once you take a finer look, not so identical. It's definitely had a good life.
I think I've made a terrible mistake.
Why?
I've seen this brand new tire, DT Swiss wheel,
Dude.
GX. What else we've got some nice stuff here? A saddle. Look at that saddle. The Trailmaster. They don't sell this to just anyone. That's a good purchase.
It's true. However, my fear is the whole back end there has been upgraded because something catastrophic has happened.
I would like to paint you a little picture.
Okay.
This went into this, and then everything had to be new.
Yes, I think that's probably a likely story. All right, let's get into it. I'm gonna do the same thing as, okay, there's immediately sharp stuff there. That's great. Oh, yeah, that's a healthy rub.
Oh, nice.
Perfect, it'll go. All right, how's this back one? Wow, these, what the? Nope.
Whee!
There's sealant in there. Okay.
Just hoping for a blown shock. Please, please give me a blown shock.
There's definitely some, sounds like the hub. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Maybe a little bit of bushing play there, nothing that a new fork can't solve.
Well, that's like a racer's thing. Hey, you know, slightly loose from the bushes, less friction, better small bump. Do you reckon that's what they were going for?
Maybe.
That is so nice. It looks smooth from here.
Okay, that's, my fork might be blown.
Yes.
That's full slow. Yeah.
I describe that as a fast return.
Pro tip out there when buying the used bike, turn the rebound around, turn the compression around and see, make sure stuff is happening and stuff is changing. Because that's gonna lead to some weird, especially if you go to like pull up off a jump, it's gonna feel super weird.
Yeah, totally. And also like coming through technical sections where your wheels can just deflecting off stuff.
Oh, cool. We got a few of those in the test.
Have we?
Yeah.
Oh, well, honestly, I feel like it's turned it around.
You know what? I'm kind of stoked though, because now I can add a page to my excuse Rolodex. If my time is poor, if my fork, unrideable.
I'm looking at it the other way.
Yeah.
If I don't go quicker, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh God, Jason's fork doesn't even work.
Yeah, but you got some issues of your own. All right, man, your bike's dialed. My bike seems dialed enough. Dialed enough. Let's head on to the trails where we are gonna do a little bit of a shakedown ride, make sure everything we did here is proper and up to code, and then we're gonna do a baseline timed tested lap. All right, here we are out on this beautiful sunny day, and we are at the top of our test track hybrid here in Squamish. Henry, why are we here?
We're here to do, and bear with me, a race run. I don't know how much racing there's going to be done today. I'm not feeling that racy. So we're out to do a sighter. I'm going to come back up and get a timed one in as a benchmark. How's your bike feeling so far?
It's feeling okay. Honestly, my hands are pretty cold. I can't really grab the brakes too well. The fork is definitely going to be an issue. The top out there is pretty savage. How about yours?
Yeah, it's making some interesting noises. I would say it wants to communicate that it's not having a nice time. But just pedaling up that hill, it's like all the ball bearings were squares because it was like, and it'll be fine. I mean, it's going to shine on the downhill.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a downhill track. So, shall we?
Please, let's do it.
Yeah, man, you're good to go.
Sweet.
Have fun.
Wish me luck.
See you down there.
This is going to be absolutely rotten.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That is so dark.
say hi there. Lots of lakes to navigate.
Oh yeah! Go, Giant Rain, go! Oh yeah!
Ah, and the next bit. Jesus, wet. Oh!
It's wild, brakes aren't doing much. Don't even.
My race one, it was pretty dark to begin with, and then once it got into the open, visibility was better, but there's so many puddles and stuff, it kind of meant that although you could see further, the trail that you could see itself was less consistent, but hell, it went all right.
Couple of pedals. Tires are doing great. Wow, another lake. Ah! Another puddle. Oh, here we come, home stretch. Couple pedals. What was it? I think I drank a lot of water.
All right, well there you have it. Our shakedown ride is done. We've also set some timed test laps that we can compare to later.
Yep, I mean they're going to be our baseline, so we don't necessarily know if they're good or if they're bad, we can come back to them. Now Jason, what is the thing you're most looking forward to changing on your bike in the coming weeks?
Yeah, right off the bat, I already said it in the shop, the fork definitely is blown. That rebound is super quick and it's very noticeable on trail. You know, there's play here and there on the bike, whatever. You don't really notice it on the trail. The fork is very noticeable and affects the ride for sure. Yeah. What about you?
Oh, for me, I mean, the shock has got quite a step in it. And so that initial part of the stroke isn't really damped and it feels like you're kind of always free falling through the bike. And it feels quite unstable. But for me, I would love to get this bike, which I think is a really good benchmark to begin with, and just put some big rotors on and some kind of more powerful brake pads. And I think down that, it would have made it a whole lot more fun.
Yeah, I think I have some of those at the shop for my bike.
And my bike.
You get new brakes.
Great, big powerful rotors.
Yeah, they're colorful. It's great. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We are just getting started here with Budget vs. Baller. We have more episodes, and in the next episode, we are tackling wheels and tires. I've got some carbon, beautiful hoops waiting for me at the shop. Henry has some other stuff, I don't know.
I got some bits and pieces.
Yeah. Subscribe.